Hello Summoners, and welcome to another episode of FEHology, the study of Fire Emblem Heroes. I absolutely love this unit. She reminds me a lot of Dual Leaf when he first came out. Seriously, she has a lot of the skills needed to combat the current meta, like her half NFU in her bow, Brave Hector, but she also pushes the envelope in regards to the buff meta, which is kind of a new wrinkle. We haven't seen that in a while. When she has visible buffs, she becomes fairly bulky and has the ability to stick around. And let's face it, if the offense can't defeat you on turn 1, that is a win for the defense. So she hits really hard and is tough to kill. I'm not saying she's as impactful as Dual Leaf because he does a lot of other things, but those are the qualities that have made him such a good unit for so long. I could talk more about the theory and all the sims we've been doing this week, but I think it's best for this unit to speak for herself, so let's look at who she does well against and who she doesn't. Okay, so right off the bat, we're gonna go up against her toughest opponent in the most ideal situation possible. Like, this is perfect Laegjarn. This is everything goes right. She has full buffs and Catria support and everything else. And here's bonus season Fjorm at +2 with max flowers. And, oh, here we go. There's 1, 2, and makes me so happy. Making a defense against Fjorm is just difficult. It's been very, very hard. Now, I wanted to start off with that because that's always, you want to look at the ceiling. Like, is it even possible for her to take out some of these big units? I understand that some players aren't even going to approach that way, and tanking a Catria ball is questionable in general. But let's break this out and look at individual matchups. And I've got a cav line that I've created. I'm not telling you to go create a cav line, but it's nice in order to look at just individual matchups because it's very easy to isolate players. So I'm going to start this off, and I have to remind you guys that we're looking at individual matchups here. We're not looking at an offense versus a defense. We're looking at a Fjorm supported by a Flame. And what happens when they're going up against a Laegjarn supported by a Ruse in this case. So, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, this isn't nearly as good. Like, Laegjarn nearly dies, Fjorm barely takes any damage. I have to chalk this up as an L, right? I mean, this isn't good. Yes, she did stick around, that's excellent, and it's very possible that you could fit up some kind of Wings of Mercy shenanigan there. But I always like to identify what's the key point in that first matchup. What allowed Laegjarn to beat Fjorm? And that answer is obviously Bridal Catria in this case. And so if you're looking at the matchup with Fjorm, you need that quad. So you need speed, and you need a Bridal Catria. I mean, still, this is bonus season Fjorm. She would take more damage in the real world, but I've done sims and it's not pretty. This right here, I'm gonna call this a draw because there are situations where this can work and there are situations where it can't. Let's go ahead and move on though. The next one, this is a curious one, and I threw this one in last minute just to see what happened. And this is just your standard Micaiah. This is about supported like I would expect with some sort of near save unit. You could probably drop a mythic and put in maybe Flame and it would go better. Right off the bat though, you can see, I mean, I'd expect this to go worse, just to be completely honest. And dropping Micaiah down to 6 HP, that's pretty bad. And I know, yes, Laegjarn does kill in the scenario, but I've run this enough that I believe that there is a Micaiah build that you could do that would counter Laegjarn. Obviously not in a Catria ball, it's a different element, but I'm still gonna call this a draw. I don't think I have the correct equipment. Like if you had a +10, +20 flower Micaiah, and if you had her buffed better, and even if you had distant defense, I think this matchup swings towards Micaiah. I really do. That being said, obviously we're on the line there. Some of the matchups you're gonna win, some of the matchups you're gonna lose. I just thought it was interesting that this unit put up more of a fight than I thought she was going to. So let's look at our next unit here, and this one hurt me. I know I'm spoiling what's gonna happen, but I really thought this was gonna be better. Like, this is a very invested, very supported bike. And I mean, he's supposed to be made for this. And she comes in and just wrecks him. I mean, that's 57 times 2. And I mean, on top of that, he's left with 4 HP, and he only did 8 damage. I mean, that's ridiculous, summoners. I may have to concede that the time of bike as an all-around tank is very nearly over. And I mean, I've been using him situationally, but this is not good. I expect more units like Laegjarn, and yeah, my fully supported bike is just not doing as well as I would have liked. Sad day. Seriously sad day. Let's get to the unit that you've all been waiting for, though. And I mean, this is interesting to me, as I didn't expect this to go quite as well as it did. The wind sweep on Laegjarn is kind of fantastic against a lot of units not named Fjorm. Bumping Hector down to 7 HP? Summoners, that is impressive. Now, my Hector isn't very well built. Like, this is a +1, I don't even have far save on him. Understand that someone else's Hector is going to do better, but I still think this drives home the point that Laegjarn does very well, bumps him out of special fighter range, and if she's supported right, does a lot more. And let's go look at what that looks like, and we're gonna double back to this Catria ball. Yeah, this thing. Now again, this is not a max invested vector, but still, you're gonna wanna see this. We've got the ruse going on, and then we have 28 times 4. Pow, 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 pow. That just, wow, guys. I can't even, I mean, that's so good that I'm gonna ignore the fact that Jafar tings off of Robin for 0 times 4. We're just gonna pass over that completely. Laegjarn can be very impressive in the right situations. So it's time to sum this up, and the first thing I have to say is this is not straightforward like the female Ninja Corn episode. Ninjorin is amazing. Period. Laegjarn does well when everything goes her way. I mean, you can see that with the Ascendant Fjorm matchup. The fact that she has such a high ceiling, though, is what's so intriguing about her. The other thing is how these columns played out. Brave Hector and Bike are traditionally very strong versus melee attacks, and they struggled here. Micaiah is barely in the draws column, so the things that counter Laegjarn are more in the offensive support units that you bring. If you can stack speed, which is no small feat versus her, or panic, which certain units like Bridal Fjorm do very well, and I'm gonna hold right there. Does anyone else find it funny that the 2 Fjorms are Laegjarn's biggest problem? So anyway, you'll be countering Laegjarn more with your support units than with your carry. The unit itself is an interesting shift, and I'm curious what comes next. I mean, you want to pair this unit with, are we gonna go way back to Legendary Azura? All right, Summoners, I hope you had a good time with this. These are a lot of fun for me and a lot of fun for the Discord. Playing with this unit over the past couple of weeks has also been just a lot of fun. I, again, love this unit, but I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you guys are doing well. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.